everybody? Um, this is Derek. Just going over the trade that I took early this morning. Actually, two trades that I took early this morning. One was a quick sell um, to the to one of the daily lines, and then the second one was a long um, to this another daily line up here. But let me go over the trade and just show you what I was looking at. So if I go to the 5 minute chart, um, so if you trade NQ or ES, um, you always want to go over the bias and just see what the previous session did, meaning like Asia and London session. So the new session starts at 6 p.m., which is 1700, and then you just kind of want to just go through what the overnight session did. So as we see here, you know, um, London swept the Asia highs, and if you know anything about um, NQ or the Nasdaq or the New York session primarily likes to follow suit of what London did. Um, Also, London didn't. No, see, yeah, London did not sweep the lows. Asia lows were down here, and if we look after two in the morning, because that's where like the when London session opens and most of the volume starts to come in. As we can see, it didn't sweep the lows, even though there was a low right here when it opened. It didn't sweep any of these lows when London session opened. So that's telling me that that's one confluence that New York wants to be bullish, at least at the open. Okay, so that's kind of my game plan. Going in and looking for longs when New York session opens at 9:30. However, when I drop down to the 1 minute chart, don't mind that. What time is it here? If we go to the 1 minute right here, we had a little chop box. We had a little chop box right here. So this is come on. So we had, and this is not this video is not edited. This is just straight, um, you know, straight to it. I'm not wasting my time doing the auto edits. This is what you get. So, but anyways, so we had some bullish momentum um, going down to the downside, and we had a daily line, which is one of these blue lines. So this is a key level from the previous day, and to get these key levels, you go to the previous day daily candle, which would have been this red candle right here, and then you just plot the 4 points. So you just click the middle on your scroll on your mouse, and you get the open, high, low, close, and then you just plot those 4 points on your chart, and then you look for those for targets for your next day. Um, so knowing that and knowing just how NQ likes to work and how it likes to just go to key levels, um, you see we had some bullish structure here, and then price started to chop around a little bit beneath this little zone's a reversal zone right here, and so it chopped around from about 9:10 in the morning to the open. So this told me that we have a strong chance of just getting to this blue line if we was to break to the downside after 9:25 in the morning. Um, if you're a trader, you should know, and if you trade the same pair over and over again, you should know, um, different times have little spikes in the on the charts or whatever. So you should know, at 925, 927, for whatever reason, they're just momentum, just like momentum minutes for whatever reason. So, we had this chop box that lasted, you know, for about 20 minutes, and then wanted to take it short. So I had my plots not on this chart, but let me add my chart things real quick. Oh crap! Hold up. So, don't mind this. This was uh, I'll tell you about this in a minute. But we had so we had like I said, shorts, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see very good, but my entry was right outside this box because I wanted to break below. So my entry was here. That's that little pink arrow right there. So that's where my entry was. It could have been, I guess, like a ticket too closer to the box. Um, anyways, and then um, my buy order was at this blue line because, like I said, I had a good indication that price was at least gonna go tap this blue line before going back up to the upside. So this is one strategy that I take, and if I just measure this out, and if you take this trade, the stop loss is like always. This particular trade, the stop loss would have been um, above the box, right above the box. So you wait for, again, after 925. So 925, it kind of like it broke this box initially to the upside. So the initial box was like this, but after 925, like if it breaks it and continues to run, obviously this trade's invalid. But it kind of just broke the box and just like reversed right afterwards. So I felt even, like more confident taking this little short real quick. Um, so that's exactly how it did, and that's how it played out. And as you can see, I'm on a micro chart right now, so one contract would have got you $52. Um, so I ended up taking like 5 micros, so I think it was a little more than like 250 or something just to this um, daily level. And as you can see, there was some liquidity sitting down here. This red line is my liquidity, sell side liquidity indicator. Um, so in which price just came and swept that and went right to the upside. But if you would have taken like a full um, NQ contract, that would have been $520. Um, quick, nice, easy win right at the open, and this trade played out literally 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes after the market opened. So nice quick trade. But like I said, let's get back to the long positions because that's where the bread and butter was today. And I could tell you a little bit more why I was looking for longs besides just the overnight buys. So let me go to the 15-minute chart. I'm actually going to remove this stuff for you guys so you can actually see um, this stuff first. Let me get this out the way real quick. And okay, so this is the one of my one of my best trades that I take. It doesn't play out every day, but when it does play out, it plays out pretty big. This trade pretty much only happens maybe like once or twice a week, but that's okay. It's a like an A+ setup, so I'm not mad at it. You just take it every time it shows up, and then you know you just wait for the next one. So as you see right here, like we're on the 15-minute chart, and again this is the Nasdaq NQ MNQ, and this this is my 15-minute SMA trade. So pretty much all I do for this trade is just look where price action is mainly trading above or below the SMA, which is this red line right here. This green line is the EMA, the 100 EMA, and this red line is the 50 SMA. So I just look for where price action is, and as you can see, during the Asia session, we're trading below the SMA, but right around 2:30 when London opened, you can see we started trading above the SMA, right? And also not just that, we started rejecting the SMA. Um, so that's what I look for. So we're kind of, you know, closing right above, below, right, right below it. Um, and as you can see, even like this candle closed below it, but there was no continuous momentum. So then we had a big bullish candle to the upside. Um, then we had two again candles to the downside, but again rejected the SMA here, rejected the SMA on this green candle with this nice wick on the bottom here. Um, and that's all like indicating that we're going to continue to go bullish at some point. But me personally, I like to look for at least two or more rejections off the SMA or reversal. So reversal is, you know, like this red candle, how we closed beneath it, the SMA, but we had no momentum. So that's a reversal to me. And then we had one, two rejections off the SMA. This red candle couldn't reach it, and then this candle, this green candle, made a low, but rejected off the not right off the SMA, but rejected here, and then bounced pretty strongly to the upside. Um, so that was indicating I'm like, okay, now my setup might be happening today at the open. So what I like to do is after I have this, first uh, candle closure after the SMA, I look to see continuation um, afterwards. So we had this red candle and then at least two consecutive candles afterwards. So all that is starting to play out and it's looking good. So what I like to do is I like to draw my zone from the top of this candle after the right after it has to be after these reversals or rejections too. So we had all these rejections and reversals, and then we had the continuation that I like to see. So from the top of the wick of that candle to the third candle, and then draw your zone over like to the open, at least to like 9:30 ish, right? Um, so sometimes this trade plays out before market opens, and that's why you saw those markers on the 1 minute chart before. When I pull them up, you'll see them back over here because sometimes like it'll just it like a break and retest method, so it tapped me in, and then we had the momentum. But then, like I said, for some reason I just didn't trust it, so I did close out my trade early before market open. But I should have been like a little bit more patient for the trade to play out, because either way, it didn't lose, because initially this would have been the stop loss. As you can see, the stop loss is pretty hefty. It's $181 off 1 micro. So if you're taking a regular NQ contract, that's 1,800 bucks. So I didn't like the momentum at the open, and then I was like, and then I saw the other setup that could possibly happen with this. The momentum just continuing to carry down. So I ended up closing out pretty early, like back up here or whatever. Um, and then so this is the stop loss. My entry is halfway in this green box, and that's always, you know, the point. So for you to measure halfway out the box, you just set your um, Fibonacci tool, your measurement, and then you measure the box like that, and wherever the 50% of this box is, I like to put a line there so I remember where it is, and I can put my order there. So that's where this black line here is. If you can see that black line, that's where my entry was. Um, so I waited for, I was already, this is after, I'm already out this trade, and now price, wicked off that liquidity, it swept all that liquidity, and now we have all this, and look, even down here is like just nothing but buy orders sitting down here, buy orders sitting down here. That's why price continued to push up, push up, push up. Um, So once the momentum started to carry, and I reset my order for this entry right here, which was at 24659.25. And then for this specific trade, my first TP is always TP3 on this particular trade. It doesn't go for any of the other trades, but I've seen this and back tested this strategy so many times that it will go to TP3 a lot of the times. If it doesn't reach TP3 like instantly, then we can expect, well, I can expect some sort of reversal to happen, or something, or Trump might tweet something, or whatever the case may be. Some type of news might come out randomly, and then price will reverse. So let me put my orders back up here so you guys can see exactly when I got in and out. So as you can see, if you can't see, sorry, it's kind of like messed up here, kind of congested. But I have 5 orders right at this black line right there. You can see these that pink arrow again. Actually, why isn't it? Sorry, I'm just trying to see why it's not really on this line. It has my first order that I canceled earlier. But for some reason I don't see. Anyways, my entry was here, and then I took it. As you can see, I took it to this other blue line was the daily. It was a daily higher from yesterday. And remember, NQ always likes to go to um, key levels. So obviously it was the key level from yesterday's high. And as you can see, if you follow this blue line all the way over here, that was the high that created over here, and that's where that blue line came from. And like I said, I took it to the daily line because it was so close to my original TP, which is TP3. And like I said, I only trade NQ, so seeing how NQ moves, I was pretty confident it was gonna get there. And as you see my 5 sell orders up here on the top of this wick, and the arrow right there. So yeah, you can see the arrow right there at the top. My 5 sell orders, so that's when I got out. And this trade, as you can see, it was pretty big. This was $543 for 1 micro. And like I said, I took 5, so I think I end up cashing out total for like a little over 3K today, which was a great day. And I was done by like 10:15. So that was, that's how the day looked like today. Now I'm about to just reset my charts for the open. Right now at 6 p.m. I'm about to clear some of this. Now I can remove some of these lines, like this daily line got hit, so I can remove that. This unmitigated level got hit, so I can remove that. I guess it was 2 here, or maybe I just doubled it up, so I can remove that. This daily line got hit, so I can remove that. I always remove the daily lines if they get hit during the New York session. If they don't, they get turned to pink lines like you see up here, like all these pink lines and stuff like that. So I'll do that. There's another line, the low from yesterday right here that did not get touched, so I'll turn that to pink real quick. And then I think I'm missing one because that was only 3. I think it's in. Well, I'll find it after this video. this stuff back off. And voila. So then I'll just add the points to my chart for tomorrow. So this is today's candle. So like I said, 24,988 is the high. 24,988. So I'll plot my line. 24,988. 24,988. Boom. Hit OK. That's the high for today. Open 24,547. 24,547. Just down here. Put my line. 7. Okay. Close 959.75. 959.75. Boom. And then the low 446.50, and that will be down here. Boom. Okay, so now I got my lines plotted. I got my mitigated stuff plotted, and now I'm ready for tomorrow. So that was just today's recap of today's trade. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it makes sense to some of you guys who trade. Continue to follow me and ask questions for more info. And I'll be happy to help you guys. Yeah, and just continue to come back to the channel. I got my own Patreon. Yeah, and let's get this bread together, guys.